transcribe this.
So you'll get a little message here in just a sec. There you go. It's recording.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So just to get started with the budget information that's on there, I don't have a presentation, but I just figured, I know that there's some different ideas of what we should have out there. I've been working on it, plugging away at it, because as soon as we finalize the budget, then I have a lot of different reporting that I have to do to different places and agencies. So I've been working on that and, you know, have just been posting it on the website as we finish. So I think what would be helpful is if you looked through what we have and then see, I don't know, is Amy talking to us? Oh, okay. Okay.
Trying to bribe my kid to go away.
Okay. If we just,
We lost Jamie. I think we lost Jamie though.
Oh, yeah, he must have. Where'd he go?
he went to shovel.
Hey, Colleen, Avery's coming to get Katie. They're going to get ice
I know.
cream.
I just got the text. Can I get ice cream with Avery?
Oh,
So I think what would be helpful is if we just look through what's available, or you see what's available, and then we can decide that maybe what we want for the public hearing or any additional information on the website. Because I think it's all out there in different formats. And then also our budget newsletter will be coming out, and that's really a simplified version of it with the superintendent's letter, and then just, you know, a very simple few lines on there and a little graph. So that's just a, rather than doing the folded, the 4-page newsletter, we're just gonna do the front and back, which is what they've recommended for all schools, because everybody had to get it in at once and they weren't sure, you know, how much printing they could do. And usually we add pictures and things going on at the schools. So we're not gonna have all that. They can see that on our website this year. Unfortunately, there just wasn't enough time to put together everybody's newsletters the way they usually do them. So I guess I'll.
Well, we've been talking about it, and we really want to have like one slide with our expenses and our revenues. So, I mean, that's the easiest thing.
Okay. Did you see the one I did this morning, Tom? Were you able to share that with them?
I did.
Okay.
Actually, I shared it with Bill and Amy. I didn't share it with Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And okay, and I thought that was good. I did ask Tom a question when we were talking about the budget, and we had a $700,000 plus gap. What was the expenditure total?
Well, I don't have an exact amount. So just to go through the process there, you know, I know at first we started with, we have a $2.1 million gap, and that's with all the wish list things in there. So at one point in time, you know, I had a whole bunch of budgets going back and forth. This one was dated this one is with, you know, the potential for this one has this one out. So once we got it set, I actually got rid of a lot of those because it was very confusing. So I have a whole bunch of notes and I can recreate it up to that point. But what happens is, you know, then if we take people out, we know we're going to have people out. Well, then I had to go to the unemployment line and add there. So it's, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. So it's moving all over the place. But the big part of it was, you know, people. And obviously we did get some concessions, which was awesome. And, you know, some of the people didn't make it back in. So unfortunately, we had more people.
So we approved the budget on Monday last week, and that was $40,942,352.
Yeah.
So that budget had a $770,000 gap in it, correct?
No. No. Once you approve the budget, there can't be a gap in it.
It had more positions to let go in it, though.
Right.
Correct?
Right. So then we were able to, with different adjustments, save some of those positions.
Okay,
So without putting people out there, we have a list of people, and some of them don't even know they were on the chopping block, but a list of people, this person has this value, this person has this value. And then as we got some concessions, we were able to put, trade off those for people, really, is what it boils down to.
okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right.
I think the slide that Tom sent today, that's kind of what I've been looking for is, where's all the income come from? Where are the differences? And because like I've been saying, we keep saying that our expenditures are down and our revenues are up. Why do we have a gap?
Right.
And this, I think, outlines it, because you see those two almost $400,000 differences.
With the fund balance and the
Yeah.
state aid.
Yeah, and the only thing that I want to say to the fund balance is that people are going to obviously go, well, why aren't we putting $1.3 million to the balance this year? So I think there should be some sort of note that last year we bought buses with that money and this year we're not.
Okay, I'll make sure that's in one of those presentations, but I'm not sure which one. So what I'll do is I'll take the information that's you think is the most helpful and put that in one to do for
Right.
the public hearing.
Because you kind of, we have, and we talked about this yesterday, we know what we're talking about and we know what's in those figures, but we have to go from the assumption that people are going to make these big, giant generalizations, like, why are we only putting $1 million of fund balance this year?
Right.
Why can't you do more? They're not doing enough, and they're going to make those generalizations, and we want to kind of try to curtail some of those in advance.
Uh-huh.
And the
But
other,
we can only have 1.6 million in our undesignated anyway. So when you put a number out there of $1 million in fund balance, it's obviously not something that can be a recurring item if your budget doesn't come in with a surplus.
Right.
And go ahead, Bill.
the thing is we have to plan for the take back.
Right. So I think, I know this year we're going to have a little bit more than the 4% because of the money that we haven't spent. But I don't know that we want to throw all those eggs in that basket right now, because what Bill is saying, if we have a take back, we don't want to go every single time there's a take back and say, okay, 10 more people have to go. So we need to be a little bit more careful. And I think if we get, our hands slapped for 1 year, we've been very good about staying right near the 4%. So I think if nobody, I don't think the state would say anything. And it's not because, we're hoarding money. It's because we're trying to plan for the worst. So,
And we're saving money because of the pandemic, basically.
right. Which is going to cost us
Yeah.
later in state aid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Lisa, this is funny because this conversation, similar conversation happened during the superintendent's meetings today, but there are schools with a considerably higher amount of fund balance they just keep on hand annually. And it just seems like there's nothing more than a cautionary memo that goes to these districts. So not that we want to abuse that, but gentleman from Andy's was saying today that every year they carry significantly more in their fund balance than the state recommends.
Yeah. Well, their fund balance is probably $300,000. Right?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, and
something
he,
ridiculous.
he wasn't the only one. There were a few that, Cooperstown, and so, yeah, I know it's, I'm just throwing it out there because that came up during today's conversation as well, so.
Yeah, well, Sydney made the headlines in the paper here a few weeks ago.
Yes,
Somehow. They were the lucky winner that got picked to talk about the flushness of their school district.
yes,
Bad timing.
yes, indeed.
Okay. So I made a note to make sure that we have that one slide with all the information on there with the expenditures and then how we pay for them. And then just make sure that the fund balance change from last year to this year is explained on one slide, so people can just do a one one view shot of that. So if there's, if you look through it, if there's anything else that you think should stand out or be important, then we'll put that together and make sure that that's on the website and available for the public hearing. But a lot of stuff was added today. So when you get a chance, if you want to go out on the website and take a look at that, like the proposed appropriations was just put on there probably 10 minutes ago. And that's actually like a 51 slide thing, but that goes through all the budget codes in detail. So it just tells you what's included in the budget. So if somebody, really wanted to sit down and go through it, they could see that in detail too. So there's actually quite a bit on there now. So was there anything else on the budget that we needed to go through?
Is there a year over year in there, Lisa?
Yes. Yep. So
Okay, so they can see how flat things really are.
yeah, it says budgeted proposal appropriations, and then there's the proposal revenues, and you'll see that actually has the year to year, but it's lengthy. So it has the year to year, and it also goes through the history of the past few years of what we've actually spent.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Look at it later tonight.
Yep. Okay. So I think it's presented in a bunch of different ways, and different people are comfortable looking at different ways or want different information. So it should all be available there, but certainly if you hear anything that's not clear, you can just let me know and we can put something together for that. Okay. And then if there's nothing else on that, I sent you the papers for the repair reserve hearing, which I think you're already aware of. And that is just going to be, kind of a 15-minute public hearing, probably not even I don't even think our last one that had a lot in it was more than 15 minutes. But this is for the water treatment for the new boilers, so it doesn't ruin what they just put in. And I know the project is getting kind of, close, because a little of this, a little of that, and it's kind of taken away from the retainage and things like that. So we thought, we know we have a little bit of money left in the repair reserve, so we could maybe run it through that, because the boilers also were not included in our projects. They were included in the energy performance contract, which was exhausted. So there wasn't any money available there. So it's $13,400, and I think Mr. Brenly had already explained that whole system. So
I think I did. I think I remember mentioning how in that closed system the water was never treated, and the result was a large degree of magnetite inside the closed system, and it actually is attracted to the propellers of the pumps, and they're causing them to shut down on our brand new systems. So this will involve draining the entire system and refilling it with treated water, so we don't have those issues anymore.
okay. All right, and then the next item on the agenda, the Center Street rental agreements, that was for the YMCA, just so you know to expect it. We were going to roll over the agreements with the YMCA, so not have an increase in the price. And also, I know that they're struggling a little bit because they don't have the membership coming in right now. So if they don't run the program for the summer, we were thinking that we would just waive the rent for the summer. We did charge them now because we're still paying them for the UPK program. So we figured if we're still paying them, that the money should still be coming into us as well. So, but we did let them know that for the summer, that if they don't run a program, they're not going to have money coming in because that's not UPK. And we probably, if they don't run it in the summer, it's probably because we don't want a bunch of people in the building anyway. So that agreement will come to the board with a little, note on the bottom that says summer rent will be waived if no program is run.
That wasn't in the email you sent this morning.
What's that?
That, what you just talked about was not in the email you sent this morning.
Oh, the agenda?
It was on the agenda, but I thought you were talking about the document itself.
Oh, no. I mean, that'll go on a board agenda.
Okay.
On the, yeah, so you'll see it on a board agenda, but I just wanted you to be aware of that note on there. And then the other two items on there, the nicer information is just information that came from our insurance company. And, you know, it's a cooperative thing where we're all kind of members of that. And he just sent it in. It was Tom Austin. And he asked me to share that with the board. So I'm sharing it with the board, all the services that they provide, all the extras. And then the ASBO information was just information for you to look at. It was just interesting information that they went through the state and said, you know, this is really the benefit that school districts have throughout the state and how many jobs, you know, are related to that and things like that. So that was just informational for you. And I don't know, that's all I really have on the agenda. I don't know if you had anything else that you wanted to discuss.
Anything else, Tom, from your superintendent group meeting there? Any other topics, budget discussions or anything that would be relevant?
No, Jamie, nothing of any substance, you know, just, you know, Nick Saban yesterday and today attended the, virtually, of course, the two-day district superintendent meetings and interactions with the state. And he came back with, you know, no additional answers at all. So it's very frustrating. Nothing relative to money. We couldn't really even get answers on, you know, when exactly is our 180th day, you know, so we've gotten all sorts of different answers, but you know, the other thing is we all were asking if there could be a little guidance relative to the New York State Department of Health and graduation ceremonies, because as you may know, there are school districts all over the state who either have already done so or are planning to hold ceremonies that are outside the purview of what the executive order is. So he came back with nothing really, frustrating as that is, but.
And I haven't heard a thing about the take back either, which is odd because they had the 10 days and then I thought by the 15th day, they had to let us know what they were doing.
Right.
And it's the 19th day now, so I don't.
Yeah.
Well, from a business day standpoint, I think they would have till Friday, 15 business days.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was 15 calendar days, but it probably is 15 business days because we haven't heard anything. I was thinking we would hear something last Friday.
I thought we were in the clear. I was hoping we were out of
Maybe
it.
we are. Maybe no news is good news.
Well, even our superintendent Zoom, we designate one person to, you know, be on the Zoom but muted so they can watch the governor and let us know if something crazy happens. But nothing yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess if there's nothing else, it was a short meeting.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Not all bad.
No. Okay, so just email me if there's something else that you hear or you think that we need to have available. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
All right.
everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
I know.
Bye.